I'm Steve, the Affordable Life Coach. One of the best, most beautiful things about being human is our ability to use words to communicate, to connect with other people, to express our emotions, to express our frustrations, to express our love, our joy, our gladness, to express our gratitude. Words are so powerful, and yet we suppress, stuff, resist, hide, wear a mask, and don't fully, transparently communicate what we're feeling, how we are feeling about a certain situation or what someone did, or even communicating honestly with ourselves. There's like all issues, most all issues that we have as human beings can come down to the old adage of short term gain for long term pain. And when I'm coaching clients that are in relationships, or we're all in relationships, we have work relationships, we have familial relationships, we have romantic relationships, we have friendships. Communication is the glue that holds it all together. And if you feel fearful about communicating to somebody that you're in a relationship, friendship, or family, if you feel fearful to communicate, oh, because they're going to be upset with me, or I don't know their reaction, or it's going to lead to a confrontation, you are squeezing and suffocating the life force out of that relationship, and it slowly withers and dies. And one of the most liberating, freeing, beautiful thing you can do is just talk to people. It seems so simple, and yet we all struggle with it to one degree or another. And it could be from our childhood that it was never modeled, or it could be from our childhood that our parents used to yell and scream at each other and fight. And so we just learned it's better to suppress our emotions. Or it could be from our childhood, anytime we did communicate, especially if you're a little bit different or you had a voice of your own, that you were criticized, you were told to be quiet, you were judged, you were punished, and you just learned to be like a meek little mouse. And I'll keep my mouth shut, and then everything will be okay. Everything will be peaceful. And we are deceiving ourselves, and we are harming those that we claim to care about and love. Ask yourself a question. If you're in a relationship, friendship, anytime, any type of relationship, and someone was disappointed with you, someone felt hurt by you, someone was upset with you, someone was angry with you, wouldn't you want to know about it? Wouldn't you want them to share in a healthy, productive, constructive way? Wouldn't you want them to share what they're feeling so you can address the issues, you can get to some resolution, and you can clear any tension that there might be between the two of you? And once you start communicating openly, honestly, in a friendly, loving manner, for the goal is for the health and the healing of the relationship and the strengthening of the relationship. It's not to attack the other person. You did this to me. You hurt me. You're a bad person. I'm angry at you. It's more like, hey, let's talk. I'm feeling some sadness. I'm feeling some frustration. Be vulnerable. I'm feeling some emotional pain, and it happened, the other day when we did this together, and you said this, or you did this, or you forgot my birthday, or you don't seem to make enough time for me, or you don't give me enough space. Like, if I express to you what I'm feeling, we can actually be closer, because then there's not going to be tension, there's not going to be resentment, there's not going to be frustration, there's not going to be avoidance. There's going to be, okay, here are my needs, here are your needs, here's what things you do that have hurt me or bother me or irritate me, and here are things that you feel about me, and let's just sort it out. Let's just hash it out and come to some type of agreement. And the agreement might be, hey, I can't meet your needs. It's just not going to be possible. Whatever that might be. If someone has a gambling addiction and you can't live with someone who has a gambling addiction, or you can't be in a friendship or relationship with someone who has a certain type of addiction, maybe they constantly lie, maybe they gossip and talk behind your back. It needs to be addressed, because it's the cowardly way. And what we do is we just ghost people. We don't take their calls. We don't respond to their messages as quickly. We don't get together with them as often enough. Have the courage to tell them why. Because they're doing what they do with you that's pushing you away, they're doing with other people. And it's not fair to them to let them know, to not let them know what is repelling, causing you to be repelled by them, or causing that friction and tension in the relationship. And for a healthy, thriving, fulfilling relationship, we should be soliciting that from other people, especially our romantic partners. How does a relationship grow if you're just stuffing it? It doesn't. Things will come out, and they'll come out maybe in an explosion of anger, explosion of rage, explosion of the on and off, breaking up, getting back together, breaking up, getting back together, cheating. There's all kinds of damage we do by just not being honest. Now, what happens when you get a partner who's extremely defensive, who will try to flip it, who's maybe narcissistic, who will never admit they do anything wrong, who blames everything around on you, who when you bring something up, well, you did this and you did that. If you're in a relationship with a person like that, and you tell them, hey, this is what I'm experiencing. I suppress my emotions and feelings and things I want to communicate with you, because whenever I do, it's not received. I'm attacked, I'm judged, I'm criticized, I'm made to feel bad, I'm guilted, I'm shamed. And when you do that to me, it just shuts me down, and I store everything inside, and it's like a toxin that contaminates our relationship. And what I want to do is I want us to heal the relationship. I want us to grow closer together and to be empathetic how each of us feels about a certain thing, and not discount. Are you willing to do that? Are you able to do that? And they might say yes and then completely not do it. And then you have to call them out again. They might say, no, I'm not willing to do that. And then you have to ask yourself, why would you want to be in a relationship with a person that cannot admit that they did anything wrong, that blames everything on you, that can't take accountability? What's the point? What's the benefit? Because the relationship is not growing. The relationship is not healing. The relationship is not breathing. If we're keeping everything inside, the relationship is slowly dying. And that's one of the things that I really work on in coaching, when I do couples coaching or I do even just individual coaching, is just start talking about things. Even if it's a starting point, hey, we're discussing these issues in our coaching sessions. It's like taking emotional weight off your shoulders, off your chest, and you're feeling freer, you're feeling lighter, because stuffing and suppressing your emotions has huge health negative consequences, and it has psychological consequences, emotional consequences, and we need to be breathing and liberating and communicating throughout our day, throughout our week, and just from moment to moment, even with ourselves. It's just being honest with other people, and that's really what it is. People say, "Oh, I don't want to hurt other people's feelings. If I say this, they might be sad and they might be upset, or that." No, that's not it. The truth is that we're cowards. When we don't communicate what we're really feeling, we are acting cowardly. And when we act cowardly, it's like I said before, it's a short-term gain for long-term pain. You're slowly voting to destroy this relationship, or at least harm it, so there's not that deep connection. My most fruitful, most rewarding relationships have been with people that we can just tell each other how we feel. Hey, you did this, it really bothered me. Can you not do that again? Or this happened. It's even, do this even on dates. When I'm coaching clients and they go on dates and how'd the date go? All she did or all he did was talked about himself the whole time. Didn't ask me one question. I'm like, perfect. It's a great opportunity for you, social stretch. Did you say something? Did you communicate with him? Hey, that really doesn't make me feel like you're interested in getting to know me. Sometimes people just talk about themselves because they're nervous. Sometimes they're narcissistic. Sometimes they just don't care about you. But at least give them the opportunity to course correct. Now, I'm not saying to go around and start telling your boss, that he or she looks fat in those jeans, or that they're a bad boss or anything like that. You have to have some modicum of civility and knowing when it's appropriate and the power dynamics, and not to step on, especially when you're talking about someone that's your superior, someone that's in authority. You can speak up, you can bring things up, but you have to be more delicate about it. But with our friends and our family and our romantic partners, it's almost like you want them to be a little bit rough around the edges when they communicate with you. You don't want to feel like you have to walk on eggshells with your partner. What kind of relationship is that where you have to walk on eggshells? I have some clients that are so sensitive, so defensive, can't accept any type of accountability or responsibility, and will get upset with me if I bring things to their attention, that they just stagnate. And if you're one of those people, you might not even recognize it, but maybe you're one of those people that is defensive, that can't take constructive feedback or criticism. And it's just it's a suffocating way to live one's life. And it's just like, it spiritually deadens us inside. We're humans. We're going to make mistakes all the time. And just the awareness of the mistakes. I make mistakes all the time, and I look at it and go, how can I grow? How can I become a better person, a better partner, a better friend? How can I become a better coach? Always looking for mistakes as an opportunity and feedback as an opportunity for your evolution, spiritual, psychological evolution. And it just feels so good to be growing a little bit every day, becoming a slightly better version of yourself every other day. And if we're not just taking down the wall and communicating, we are damaging ourselves, our health, and we're damaging our partners. And this is something that most people don't have a good skill set at. And that's something that we work on in coaching. And we even role play it, which makes it even more effective, because then you're better prepared on how to have these uncomfortable conversations. Quick side note, if you're interested, email me. If you're interested in a very affordable coaching, my email's in the description. Consultation's absolutely free, and there's no obligation afterwards. You could see if it's something that you like. And I have even students that do coaching because it's so affordable. And everybody benefits from it. So I encourage everybody to give it a try. But back to the communication. You ever have that feeling of heaviness, or you have that feeling of stress, or you have that feeling of tension, especially when you're in the presence of another person, that there's unresolved issues? That goes away. It sets you free, and start with small things and work your way up. And then also with yourself. Be honest with yourself. We just lie and BS ourselves all the time. And that's why coaching, especially the coaching that I do, is so effective, because I'm going to tell you the truth. And it can be hard to hear. And I have clients that have canceled coaching, who've not continued, because they don't want to look at themselves in an honest way. They don't want to face the things that they've been denying. They don't want their ego to be dinged. And that's the best thing we can do, is just to kind of demolish our ego and come from a deeper place. I'm not saying to completely get rid of our ego. We all have egos, but just to not let it be what drives us. It's like authenticity drives us. Let honesty, let empathy, let connection, let compassion, let communication, those be our values which drive us in our lives and in our relationships. And communicating with ourselves, a great tool also is journaling. You get to see yourself, what you're feeling, what you're saying, and some of the nonsense and excuses and rationalizations and justifications we tell ourselves. You're able to see it from like a distance, almost like a third party. And so it's really invigorating to cut all the chains that weigh us down. And that's suppression of our personality, suppression of our voice, suppression of our thoughts, suppression of who we are. And I'm not saying to go out and just blab and say whatever, the first thing that pops in your mind, and to be rude and offensive to people. I'm not saying that at all. But we have freedom to speak and share and connect with who we truly are. And then when people see that, they can say, hey, that's for me or that's not for me. But you'll find that your relationships and friendships are much deeper and much richer when you are communicating from that space. The other thing is, enough with the text messages, enough with the emails as a way of communication. I'll get clients that will have a different viewpoint than someone else, or a little bit of an argument or a disagreement, and they'll say in coaching sessions, hey, can I email the person? Like, no. Emailing so much is lost in translation. Even email or texting, people, because it's an email or text, if it's a delicate subject, they're going to put a negative spin on it, because that's how human beings work. They're going to be more easily offended. They're going to be more easily upset. Talk things through. Just wrestle it out. Just have that verbal engagement, that verbal dance where you're sorting your problems out. And if the person, and so not in text format, and if the person is unwilling, give them the benefit of doubt. Start with small things, gradually work your way up to bigger things, because maybe this is something new and they have no experience or practice about communicating. And I'm just amazed. It's not that why this isn't a skill that's taught in school, why this isn't something that we're just emphasize the importance of. Let's communicate openly, honestly, freely, and courageously with each other. That is one of the most important life skills you can get in life. It will cut down on the divorce rate. It will cut down on the people flipping out and getting angry, and the road rage or other fits of anger that people get into. Because it's like cleaning house. We're always just cleansing. We're always releasing. We're always sharing. We're always communicating. We're always just getting rid of the mental and emotional rubbish. Oh yeah, it's really, really nice. And it's kind of one of my, as you could see, if you've been watching my channel for a long time, it's one of the themes and one of the most important things for healthy relationships. And it gets addictive. Once you start doing it, you're like, oh, I can't wait for the next opportunity to have an uncomfortable conversation or to communicate something with somebody. So have fun with it. Don't look at it as like a chore or a burden. Look at it as something like, hey, it's going to the gym. Yeah, it hurts to lift the weights a little bit, but it makes me stronger and helps me grow. You don't want to be having these types of conversations where things can escalate with a stranger. Sometimes if a stranger does something that bothers you, just walk away. You don't engage. Some people can be quite unpredictable, especially somebody you don't know. This is geared more towards people in your circle, in your inner circle. Okay, so if you like coaching, shoot me an email, and the usual stuff. If you want to comment, I really appreciate your comments. I know it takes an extra couple minutes, but it means a lot to me. If you like these type of videos, please consider subscribing and liking. And if you want to support the channel, there's a PayPal link in the description. Any amount is really means a lot to me, and it's not necessarily about the money. Some people just give a few dollars, $5, $10, whatever, but it really does mean a lot and inspires me to continue making videos. And you can also, if you want to do like a small amount on a monthly basis, that's greatly appreciated and gives me accountability to continue making videos. All right, thanks for watching and look forward to the next one, and hope you found this helpful. And please give me any constructive feedback about my videos that you would like to, any changes, recommendations, or areas that you disagree with in the comments. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.